Yeah, I saw that the football game, the NFL playoff game, the Vikings game, got pushed to Arizona out of California. Those fires are crazy. I wonder if anything will change. After this happens.
Yeah, they better figure out how to fill the water tanks up. They're gonna have a couple of really big.
In those water tanks.
What other way do you store?
We don't have the. Where you just imagining like gigantic water tanks everywhere?
Not everywhere. Just one or a couple of
one
beyond belief giant
tank.
tanks.
We put it high up on something, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, it's going to have to be gravity fed in the case of an emergency, right? Isn't that a huge reason that like the pressure isn't there now? Is that these giant tanks that already exist don't have the requisite pressure because whatever feeds them is out of water?
No, it's because people upstream are using the water. It's as simple as that. The people upstream are using the water and it's not getting downstream. There's like a giant pipe starting from where the water comes from that goes to where the water is most needed in the fires. And the people in between are using so much water that there's not enough pressure at the end. They need more water pressure.
You're down, you're breaking Woody's rule where you're poo-pooing on all my big tanks. And you have no solution.
Your big tanks are silly. Your big tanks are.
They already have big tanks. We have big tanks of water all over the country.
But you're talking about like we need like a giant we need a supply of water stored somewhere for hard times, and this is like that's nonsense.
Taylor's right. You can't.
We already have that. It's called the ocean.
Comic book solutions. You have to have something better.
Yes.
My solution was simple. Why don't you just make a pipeline that pumps the salt water from the ocean to the fires? If we're going to spray it on a fire, shoot them with the salt water.
I mean, sure. That would. I mean, it seems like
nah.
It seems like any alternative.
No reason at all.
Any alternative is better than just letting it burn.
California fire. It only gets purified water. Okay, you can't spray that filthy seawater on a Californian fire.
I need reverse osmosis, clean water, please.
Absolutely. What's the pH of that water before you spray the fire? Only alkaline water.
Why don't we just spray a bunch of salt water on it? Throw lemons in it. Yeah, why don't we just have a bunch of salt water? I've seen people be like, that's not good for the environment. And it's like, do you see what's happening? Do you let's cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's stop the fires destroying everyone's homes.
Salt water does not stop stuff growing that much. This is an area where I am an expert. I use salt. I would change the water in my fish tanks all the time. And we put salt water on like where the pavers are because grass wants to grow in between them. Still does. I've been pouring water on these pavers for a year and a half. Grass is still coming out. Fuckers.
See? So all those environmentalists can calm down.
Have you tried an herbicide of some sort other than salted water?
From time to time.
I mean, I'm sure your weeds are delicious, but
I bet they are.
Do you remember that old meme from years and years ago? This guy would like post his piss bush or his piss shrub.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it would be like a shrub outside of maybe his apartment or something. And he'd be like, week 1 of the piss shrub. And like, you could like just see a normal shrub and it'd be like week 7 of the piss shrub. And like, it's starting to die in one area that he's been pissing. And like over time, there's just like a big hole, a big dead hole in his piss shrub. And it's man.
I've seen where my dogs will piss on the same bush so much they just kill the fucking bush. And it's like, come on, leave him alone. Pick a new one. He can't take anymore. There's just one bush on the end. It's all brown. It's all sad. The others have flowers. This one doesn't even have flowers.
Too much ammonia or something.
So too much dog piss. Whatever's in there is not good for. This is not what plants crave.
No. Plants crave carbon. So give it a bunch of carbon
and electrolytes.
Yeah. Potassium, sodium, calcium. What are the other ones? Let's list all. Are there more? Is that all of them?
I don't know the electrolytes.
Magnesium, iron. Iron's not an electrolyte.
Have you seen that movie, Idiocracy?
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
What is this, Woody? California man fights fire with almond milk. Yeah. Oh, Zach, show that picture. This can't, dude. Let me tell you why this is ironic. First of all, of course, it's funny that a California man would be using a non-dairy milk product to incredibly ineffectively douse flames. But on top of that, what's so ironic is that one of the main reasons I would imagine that they have so little water is their almond crop there requires vast amounts of it, not only for its cultivation, but for the creation of said almond milk. Almond milk is just water. And so this is hilarious. This guy dousing the wilderness with double fisting his almond milks. That's $14 worth of almond milk minimum.
That's great.
Man,
What the fuck?
But at least it's not salt water. The environment will be fine.
Yeah, it can
Thank
process
goodness.
almond milk. Yeah.
Just spray the sea all over it, and we'll
I think
figure
part of
out how much grass we killed afterward. Like
Hmm.
it's gonna be fine.
Well,
The
that'd
whole
be-
ocean's there.
in the ancient times, they would come and salt the earth, when they wanted nothing else to ever grow there.
That would
again.
work.
Yeah.
I have my suspicions now. Where'd they get that much salt?
The salt
It was like
mines.
currency back then. They had a ton of salt, and so they like. But I think sowing a field with salt isn't like dashing. It's like they were coating these fields in salt and ruining the pH for
Salt is
years.
currency. Like imagine just destroying crops with dollar bills, just coating them with dollar bills.
You'd have to hate somebody.
Right?
Like when the Romans got up into England and they saw all those like Celtic, painted patterns and those goofballs, they were like, these guys are no good. I don't like them. Let's salt their shit. Let's show them what's what.
That's how the potato famines happened, I think.
Was
I'm
the
sure
potato
I'm sure
famine even like a famine, or was it kind of like what the Soviets did to all those Ukrainian farmers, where the Ukrainian farmers were like, hey, we have lots of wheat. And the Soviets are like, perfect. We take all of it and we send some back. And then they just don't.
No, it
And
was
then they all
caused by
starve.
there was a plant disease that killed all the taters, and that's what the people there ate, and so they starved.
Damn.
They ate mostly. They subsided on potatoes. They needed their taters, and so when there was a blight or something, there could be no more taters, and they all starved. I'm trying to learn about historic salting of fields, because I know for sure I've read about it. In Carthage, a tale to be taken with a pinch of salt. What a fun little. I like that author. Sowing salt as a punishment for Portuguese traders. Okay, confirms that the use of salt against an enemy dates only to the 18th century in Portugal. An 8th Duke of Alvaro is said to have conspired with other nobles to murder King Joseph I of Portugal and then ascend to the throne in a scandal later known as the Tavora affair. Through a letter written by an Englishman named Joseph Hughes, who was living in Lisbon at the time, we learned that several conspirators attacked the king on the... What does this have to do with sowing salt? Literally nothing. This is... Okay.
It's cool how you can like read about someone from English history in like the year 700, and it's like, and then one of the noblemen, George Stevens, and it's like, whoa, weird. Like it's like the same style name. I guess it makes sense, but it's kind of cool.